Donald Trump is crushing Joe Biden in The Economist's latest 2024 election forecast. He has a 2-in-3 chance at reclaiming the White House and is on track to win at least 300 electoral votes, but he could win up to 380. In this video, we're going to break down this forecast and begin by taking a look at the electoral map that this forecast projects. We're going to start off by filling in the solid states for both candidates. First, for Joe Biden on the West Coast, only California is a solid blue state. Washington and Oregon are no longer guaranteed for Biden. Hawaii is also going to be solid, and so will the states of New York, Vermont, Massachusetts, Maryland, and the District of Columbia, along with the 1st District of Maine, giving him 114 electoral votes. For Trump, nearly every single rural state in the middle of the country is going to be solid for him. We don't have the 2nd District of Nebraska, but the rest of the state will be solid red, and so will almost the entirety of the Deep South, giving him a total of 122 electoral votes from his safe states. Now we're going to move on to the likely states. Now the solid states were states that the forecast gave either candidate a 99% chance or more of winning. The likely states, that percentage chance falls into the range between 85 and 99. So for Joe Biden, we're going to start off with Washington and Oregon. This will complete the rest of the Pacific Coast. We also have the state of Colorado, a state that Biden won by 14 points. It honestly should be more solid than it is according to this projection. You also have the state of Illinois, a state that hasn't voted Republican since the Reagan era, along with eastern states such as Connecticut, Rhode Island, New Jersey, even Biden's home state of Delaware is likely on this map. And so with all of these solid and likely states filled in for Biden, we have 191 electoral votes going to the incumbent president. For Donald Trump, obvious likely states are Iowa and Ohio, 2 states that Trump flipped in 2016 that Republicans have dominated ever since. Trump is also nearly guaranteed to win Alaska. The reason why Alaska is in solid red is likely due to the fact that Mary Peltola was elected to be the sole representative from the state in the House of Representatives, and she is a Democrat. This happened in the special election in 2022. Other likely states for Trump include Texas and Florida. These are 2 big prizes, 70 electoral votes among the 2 states. 2 states now that Republicans will win easily for election cycles to come. Texas generally has been shifting to the left, but it is a huge state, and the shift has proven to be pretty slow. Republican governors, senators are still able to win by 10-point margins. Democrats probably aren't going to flip the Lone Star State on the presidential level for quite a while. Florida, on the other hand, used to be very competitive just 1 cycle ago, but now it's probably going to go to Trump by somewhere around the double-digit range. We also have the 2nd District of Maine going to Trump, and so this gives him 219 electoral votes. He's already taken an early lead with just the solid and likely states. Before we continue, only 10% of you guys are actually subscribed, so please take the time to subscribe right now for more content like this leading up to the election in November. And to finish off the map, we have the lean and tilt states, and the remaining states on this map, these are the states that are really going to decide the election. 128 electoral votes total, a pretty small minority of the Electoral College, but they hold a significant amount of power. And so for Joe Biden, we have a few lean states to go over. First, lean states. These states have a chance of going to either candidate between 65 to 85%. And in terms of odds, yes, it might seem high, but having a 35% chance of winning something, that's 1 in 3. That is not a bad chance at all. So it's pretty worrying that some states that should be pretty solid for Biden are significantly more competitive in this election. First off, we have New Mexico. This state voted for Biden by double digits, but now Trump has 20-30% chance at winning it. We also have Minnesota, a state that voted for the incumbent president by 7 points. New Hampshire, same thing. Biden won this state by 7 points in the last election. Now the Granite State is very competitive. And so is Maine. The polling average in the state of Maine actually shows Donald Trump winning the state, but this is a forecast, and a lot of it is based on previous election results. Biden won Maine by 9%, and that's probably what's keeping him up, but if the polling numbers continue to show worrying signs for the Biden campaign, Trump might actually be favored in the forecast. Virginia will be the final lean Democratic state, and we also have the 2nd District of Nebraska. This is just a district that votes alone, and so their electoral votes are counted separately from the state of Nebraska as a whole. And when you look at these lean states, these are states that shouldn't be competitive, but Trump is making them competitive this November. And these are states that Trump is targeting. He has specifically mentioned that he is trying to flip Minnesota, Virginia, and New Mexico. If he does that, the election is going to be an absolute bloodbath. Now, moving on to the lean states for Trump, I mean, these are states you would expect to be competitive. I mean, these states should be the ones deciding the election, but no, according to this forecast and according to basically every single major prediction, Donald Trump is easily going to win states that were very close and were even won by Biden in the last election. So we're going to start off with North Carolina. This is a pretty obvious pick. The Tar Heel state is still mainly a red state. It can go blue. The last time we did that was 2008. It's been red ever since. It was pretty close in 2020, but it's probably not going to go down to a 1% margin this time around. 2 states that Biden won in 2020, 2 of the closest states in the election were Georgia and Arizona. These states are now going to go to Trump. They're not even in the toss-up category anymore. Georgia, 16 electoral votes, Arizona, 11. This puts Trump at 262. And the state that is most likely to be the one that gets Donald Trump over 270 electoral votes is Pennsylvania. 19 electoral votes. This is a big prize. It's essentially a must-win for Biden at this point, but it is a lean Trump state. Trump has an over 65% chance at winning the state that Joe Biden was born in. And so with just 3 states remaining, I mean, these are the 3 states that are labeled as toss-ups. Donald Trump is already at 281 electoral votes. He has already won. But on top of that, this forecast gives Trump the 3 remaining states as well. Nevada, Wisconsin, and Michigan all tilt Republican according to the Economist forecast. And so according to their forecast, they currently give Donald Trump 312 electoral votes, Joe Biden just 226, which means that Biden would perform even worse than even Hillary Clinton did 8 years ago. Now, coming back to the forecast itself, we have a lot of other data and interesting information to go over. So the forecast gives Trump a pretty good chance at winning the election, and this is by no means a right-leaning forecast. In 2020, they gave Joe Biden a 97% chance at winning the election. Anyone that watched election night in 2020 knew that Biden did not have a 97% chance at winning. According to their forecast, the now incumbent president was supposed to win 356 electoral votes. He only won 306, and Trump wasn't even supposed to win 200. So this is a pretty left-leaning forecast. However, even they admit that Donald Trump in 2024 is the clear favorite to win the White House. According to their median projection, Trump is on track to win 300 electoral votes, but there's a pretty good chance he can win over that, maybe potentially in the 330 to 340 range. Now, if we look at the national polling, Donald Trump right now is leading, as he has done throughout the entirety of 2024. There's never been a moment where Biden led in the polls, and right now Donald Trump leads by 1.6% on average. Moving down, we can see which states are the most important. Pennsylvania right now, it seems, is the one that will decide the election. There's a 25% chance that it will do so, that it will get either candidate over 270 electoral votes. There's a 25% chance that that happens. And down here, you can see which states are the most important to each candidate. So overall, Biden has a 32% chance at winning. However, if he loses Michigan, he has a 5% chance of winning. This is a state that Trump leads in the polls in. This is a state that Biden only won by 3 points. I mean, another example is Georgia. If Biden loses Georgia, he only has a 1 in 5 chance at winning. And we all know that there's basically no chance that Biden wins Georgia. He's down by 5 points in the polls there. He only won the state by a 1/5 of a percentage point. If there's any state Biden's going to lose, it's going to be Georgia. So this is a pretty abysmal projection for Joe Biden if you look at just how easily it is for him to lose many of these states. For Donald Trump, I mean, yeah, if he loses Nevada, he still has a 44% chance at winning. Pennsylvania would be pretty bad, but if you look at these numbers up here, he can lose Wisconsin, Michigan, Georgia. He'll still be very much in the running. For Biden, if he loses even just Michigan, Pennsylvania, or Wisconsin, 3 states that Trump was able to win in 2016, he's basically done. I mean, his odds go down to less than 10. He's basically out of the race at that point. A 5% chance is really, really low. And down here at the very bottom, you can see the electoral map that we based this on. Essentially, you have the solid states that are very likely to go either way, and then the most competitive states are in this uncertain category, and they are, of course, Wisconsin. Trump has a 62% chance at winning. Michigan, 58% chance. Nevada, 64%. I mean, let's look at some other states Biden won last time. Pennsylvania, a Biden state from 2020, Trump has a 2 in 3 chance at winning. Arizona, 69% chance. Georgia, 75%, and North Carolina, 80%. I mean, Florida has a 94% chance at going red. If you look at the forecast from 2020, Biden was supposed to win Georgia. I mean, this is just how much Florida has changed. It went from 80% chance for Biden 4 years ago, now to 94% for Donald Trump. And so when looking at this forecast, we can see clearly that Donald Trump is in a very strong position going into the election. And combine this with the fact that The Economist is a pretty left-leaning forecaster, and we know that even they know that Donald Trump is on track to win, at least as of right now. Their map gives the former president 312 electoral votes to Joe Biden's 226. Thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure you like this video down below if you enjoyed it. Subscribe to my channel right now for more content like this leading up to the election, and I will see you guys next time.